Hello, my name is Richard Dion. Welcome to my PDC project, Daisy's Dream Homestead Property Design. Here's some basic information: email address, name, the Rocky View County area where I am at, and the north, just as an indicator, is always to the top of the screen for this demonstration. Daisy's Dream is an operating homestead. Myself, my wife Joanne are the founders, dreamers, and doers on this property. And we see that the future needs more wholesome options for food and for the community. We want to be suppliers of food for our community, and we want to strive to supply skills, knowledge, and designs for permaculture projects at the homesteader scale. And this is our first design out of the PDC course. Our property is long and narrow, facing again to the north. This is our property line in red, and then this is my zone map. Zone 1, Zone 2 to the north and south. There's a Zone 5, and this is because of this deep coulee that's here, but Zone 3 and 4 mostly out to the north. This would probably change into a Zone 2 or 3 into this area here as the future goes, but right now it's deemed Zone 5 because it's steep and kind of messy to get down in there. Zone map looks like this. We have north winds in the wintertime, strong, heavy north winds when cold weather comes in. We have our summer winds coming from mostly the west and a little bit from the south. And then we get winter Chinook winds here coming from the west, and those can be strong and move a lot of the snow that's in the area and shift the water storage and all kinds of different things. Our sun paths were pretty wide open. There's not a lot on the property to block sun or wind at this point, but these are our basic sun paths. Water plan. Our contours are fairly good here. It's very flat in the top part of the property, but the water does tend to flow all towards this coulee drainage arm here. And we do see some westerly flows, heading west off the bottom of the property here. This is a borrow pit that was used for the road, but all of this water will tend to flow here. And the high point on the property is up in this area, and we do see a little bit of water shedding out towards the north there a bit into the ditch that's along the road. So key design considerations. We have a DC transmission line that runs on the east side of the property. There are building restrictions under that line in terms of the types of trees, structures. The road was deliberately put under that line due to those restrictions. There's no restriction on that road. We have farmland to the east, west, and north of us, and there's some spray and other issues that come in with those, but the farmers typically tend to spray on non-windy days, but it's mostly this one here. We do have Caragana planted all the way down here, but it's struggling to come in due to water, but we're seeing better water catchment as the time goes. We've got a very good neighbor on this side who's very helpful and does own this piece of land, and at some point, if we wanted, we could lease this land from him. Existing design elements will include, we have some, well, let's get into structures first. So our structures, greenhouse, chicken coop, a barn, a storage tent, the house, and then some other septic field here, playground area back here, and then the coulee back in here, the barn and the coop and this garden area are all functioning. The barn has sheep. The coop has 150 plus chickens. We'll see more of that this year. We can do a brooder in the barn as well for about 150 or so meat chickens. We'll do those once or twice a year. And we have the chicken run here and then other aspects there, but this barn is functioning. And then we have, this is just an access road that runs through here. That'll get, that's fairly just on the surface of the soil right now. It's not formalized. So again, the key design, we talked about that. Existing design elements. I have a test swale in here that really just for Caragana and things, just looking for ways to block the wind through the front of the house. And the swale does actually function today. As you can see, we're capturing water on that side. It holds it to here, overflows here, and then goes under the road into the pond in this area right here. I built a swale and a berm on this area late in 2022, late in the fall. So that's just functioning now. It didn't get completed. I don't have enough ground cover on top here, but the swale is in and it's filled. And then I've got a bunch of branches and straw to bury this with. Much of what I planted is already dead, but we'll mitigate and manage that as we go. There's more plans down the hill for more swales and soak ponds and orchards, mostly for trees and anything. We've got a good sun catchment through this area. It's all south facing, so we get lots of sun trap opportunity in here. It's just managing the slope and the amount of water we would hold up in that area. And then yeah, we've got some planting and other aspects laid in out here. So our biggest challenge, we do have some gardens and gills currently in place. Out here, this is an abandoned garden. This is a fruit forest, a little tranquility spot. This is an energy forest, poplars, oak tree, and pines. A couple of apple trees just in complement to these apple trees here, but this is mostly just a soak pond decorative area. We find that this pond will actually fill about 3 feet deep 2 to 3 times a year, but drains within about 5 days. So that water just kind of seeps out and disappears down this way or down in. The soil here is sandy with light clay in it, so it does tend to drain readily. So design elements, rainwater harvesting is our main issue for the property at this time. So we do have some good ability to manage water so far. Just get into the runoff on the buildings. This has all been calculated. There's several drain off locations that these calculate how much water can be moved in either direction. So we capture that 4,000, 5,000 liters of storage up here, couple thousand on each end of these. It's not very matured in terms of its development. We're still progressing that as I will be moving some of these around again this year. But we can capture somewhere around 18,000 liters in a season off this roof. All told, we can probably get close to 20,000 liters on these off these buildings. That can be moved. It's just having enough storage and being prepared to move that water when it does fall over to other storage locations where we can utilize it closer to the gardens and the animals. So that's all there. The other opportunities are going to be soak ponds that we're using to help feed plants and trees mostly over here, and a little bit of drainage. This house fading that swale that's here, that's in place now. For 2023, our order of operations, you can see we've got some design considerations out. I'm only going to talk about 2023 at this time due to time, but we are looking at some opportunities here. There's going to be some more swales and things down in here, but immediate issues are things where We have this water catchment areas that where we can build water and build a moat around the fruit forest here to try and make sure we take advantage of water that's standing in this area at this time. You'll see a bit more of that water. This is the corner of the fruit forest here, but there's a lot of standing water right here. So that all drains and kind of settles in this area. So we would drain, probably dig out and draw that water over to this section here and hold it up in this area for as long as we can, and let it soak in and provide value for these roots. I have another soak pond up in here. There's a significant amount of water that gathers and settles in this area. This is dangerous when it freezes for the sheep and the donkeys that are very timid around the ice, and the sheep will fall on it when they try to run on it. So we're going to move that water over to here, and then there's a little carragana hedge here to try and break the wind coming through this area and get that established, but that has to be protected from the sheep. They'll eat everything. So that's, but the other idea is to move all this water down and sink it, drop it into a hole over here and a swale along this edge in order to provide water. That's about as much time as I have on my permaculture design. We are looking at turkeys, other livestock build outs for this coming year. We've got plans out into 2024, but I'd like to present this as my submission. Thank you for listening and for your patience.